Welcome to the Love Intervention. I'm Pastor Evans.
I'm Mrs. Evans.
And we're excited to be in Season 3 of the Love Intervention.
Season 3.
Season 3. So this season we changed the format a little bit. We wanted to get some other people involved in the conversations. So we invited some of our friends to come through and give you their perspective on some amazing topics. Today we started off with two amazing guests. One was actually my niece, Miss Brittany Watts, but you know how technology works. So you'll see her at the beginning of the show, and we'll probably have her back on for a different episode. So our main guest today is Miss JaNae Harris. She is an educator and an aspiring author. Her book entitled Her will be released in the beginning of 2021. So we had an incredible conversation with her. We really enjoyed it. We think you will too. Check it out. Let's get into it.
All right, so this is the point in our show where we like to do a little bit of an icebreaker. Do you believe that the person you are in a relationship with needs to be your best friend? Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I think somewhat they need to be your best friend, because this is a person you want to be intimate with emotionally, and you want to be connected to. So yeah, somewhat they do need to be your best friend. That's ideal. You will want to be able to navigate through life with them as like that constant best friend. At least I know that's what I'm looking for.
So let's get into today's topic, togetherness in relationships. And hopefully we'll have some insight and understanding about what that means. And let's get going. I think you have a quote for us, don't you, wife?
And so, well, first of all, I want to start off with the definition. What is the definition of togetherness? Okay, so we went on dictionary.com. Hey. So togetherness is defined as the quality, state, or condition of being together with someone. Okay? Okay. So here's the quote. How much personal time is optimal varies from couple to couple. What's most important is that partners agree how much time they want together and apart. For some partners, too much time together can be suffocating, while for others, too little time can make them feel insecure and isolated. And that's what I took from Psychology Today. And so the question today is, what are your thoughts on the importance of being together with your partner?
I mean, that's essential. You need that, because how are you going to really call it a relationship if you're not spending time together? Okay. Like, it's not a relationship if you're not spending that time together. You need that.
And the quote said that for some people, too much time is suffocating, and for others, not enough time makes you feel like you're distant. So it kind of sounds like that time for you becomes important, so that you can feel like you're in a relationship, right?
Right.
So I think that what I'm thinking is, at what point, or if at any point, do you feel like it's suffocating?
Have you?
I think that self-care is very important, and you do need some time to yourself. But like that quote said, it's a consensus between you and your partner. You guys decide together, like, how much time are we going to spend together, and then what is the amount of time we know that we need to have for ourselves. And I mean, knowing that balance and discovering that balance, that's important, y'all. That's something that just will come with time, because I know that I am pretty needy, and I like to be clingy and spend that quality time. But in my past relationships, I have definitely had my feelings hurt a little bit, and the guys tell me, like, look, I need a little bit of wiggle room just to do me for a little while and have some time to myself, and we could still come together and have our moments too. But you really have to learn that person that you're with. And you have to be, I mean, you know, in everything, compromise. You have to give and get a little. So, yeah, that's my take on that.
Oh, okay. Ben,
What'd you say, what?
do you have something to say?
When do you have that conversation though? Is it because we're talking about we're perfectly talking about relationships and we're not necessarily delving into marriage, but when do you have that conversation with someone that you're dating and so that you guys know how much time you want? Because if you know, like you said, I mean, you use the word clingy. I'm not going to use it, but you know that that's part of your personality. So when do you, when you're dating, when do you let someone know, like, oh, I'm gonna need some more of your time, brother?
I think how I am, I try to get whatever is bothering me, I get it out as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because I just feel like I'm too old to waste time. We got to see if this is going to work for us or not.
Right.
Because you might be able to figure it out, but then you might not be able to figure it out. The man might be like, oh no, like she just wants too much, and you might feel like he's not willing to give enough. So I'm gonna let you know immediately if I feel somewhat neglected in the relationship. Um, and if I just feel like, you know, I'm gonna tell you, like, if you want to be with me, there's a certain amount of time that I require from you just to feel secure in that relationship. And depending on his responses is where we will go from there. Because I think I'm a very accommodating person. I'm not gonna be unreasonable with my demands, but I definitely want my voice to be heard in the relationship, and I don't want you to make it seem like my wants are not valid.
Right. But husband.
Yes.
Because you're the man on the piano. Why don't you get your perspective?
Right.
Oh, what about amount of time? Well, I mean, look, we've been married for a long time. So, I think that over time, maybe the amount of time that we've spent together has increased, just because I don't necessarily need to go anywhere else. When we were first married, I would go play basketball, and that would be my time or whatever. But then as we grew, that time got less and less. But what I think is that as the commitment to the relationship grows, typically the amount of time that is wanted, needed, and acceptable begins to grow also. Because even if men want or desire that time alone, that could be just in another room. It doesn't have to be that you have to go somewhere and escape a situation so that you can get some time for yourself and to like reflect or whatever you need to do. But I think that as the relationship and the commitment grows, that time can either go down or it can be found in different ways.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right. So the next quote that I did not find, my wife did, but I read it too. Is it? So finding ways to sustain love involves spending enjoyable time together. Thriving couples build a strong friendship by continuing to date. They develop meaningful traditions, spend time with each other, laugh together, and look for adventure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's a quote. Here's a question. In your opinion, what is more important to you in a relationship? Quantity of time or quality of time?
I mean, just based on that quote alone, which I think was great advice, is definitely quality. Because if you're spending a huge amount of time together, but you're not building that relationship with valuable moments, then it's like that time is kind of voided, honestly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it would definitely be quality. Not to say that you shouldn't spend a substantial amount of quality time together, but I would rather have quality over quantity any day.
Right.
Right.
You think why?
Well, I think because a lot of times we find ourselves busy because we engage in so many activities that when we do spend time together, it may be quality time, but it may only be an hour here or there. And Lord knows I need more than an hour, okay? I need more than an hour. And it needs to be an hour without children. Like, cool, we cooking, but the kids are standing right here. Like, that ain't good. Like, I can't. Like, I need you to be looking at me, and I need to be looking at you. We need to be gazing. Like, oh yeah, I'm for real. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think there has to be a balance because if you just give me an hour a week and it's a great hour a week, I'm gonna need more than that. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need because I need quality time every day. 2-3 times a day. Like, come hit me. We good. Then go off your way. Then come back. Get me together. Then we good. Then I can go to sleep. Then everything is good. But don't just be like, okay, on Wednesday we're gonna have a date, and it's the best day of my life. But then I don't see you again. Like, that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work for me.
Yeah, and I think it's different now too. I'm gonna go quality of time also, but I think that the world we live in now is different, and it should be if your intention is to spend time with your loved one. It should be easier to spend that quality time, to be honest, right? Because we're several states apart right now. We can have this conversation without an issue. Before, and actually see each other. Before, when I was younger, I'm older than both of y'all by a lot. But when I was younger, it was strictly telephone conversations, or you had to, if you were going to be able to see someone, they would have to record it, put it on a VHS tape, mail it, then you'd have to wait and see what they say, and then you'd have to, ain't nobody doing all that. But what you could do now is get right on your phone and get right to someone within a matter of seconds. So if you can't be right next to that person, you can at least see their face and see what's going on and hear the inflection in their voice and be able to see facial expression. So it should be, in my opinion, easier to be able to spend quality time now than it's been in my lifetime anyway.
Right. No, that's definitely true. But sometimes those phone conversations, because you don't have the visual, get a little deeper than the FaceTime conversations, I've found. Because sometimes the physical can be a distraction.
Right. We grow courage. Is that what you're saying? We become courageous. We become courageous on the phone. Like, we become courageous commenting on social media and no one can see our face.
I think she was saying that. No, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, that's a part of it, but I was more so leaning on the fact that you're zoomed into just what that person is saying rather than being distracted by and being a little nervous too.
Right.
Because that's what I know. Sometimes when I'm getting a FaceTime call coming in, I'm like, oh my God, let me fix my hair. So I think that the phone conversation just kind of strips it raw and you can get to the meat of what you really want to ask that person and find out about them.
Right.
Yeah, I think about that. That's good.
Yeah, I guess in a lot of ways, a phone conversation can feel like more quality time.
But it's so crazy because in this day and time, it should, like you saying, Mr. Evans, it should be easier to date. But it's kind of more hard because like people do not like talking on the phone.
Right.
They don't value that. It's all about texting and social media, and to me that stuff is kind of like, it's not quality.
Right. Why do you think
because like you were saying, Mrs. Evans, like hearing the inflection in someone's voice, like that's important. Hearing that tone, and I have no idea why people prefer to text, and maybe it's just because of our generation, and that's what we kind of grew up on. But yeah, it's definitely a little difficult because some people don't want to give you that quality. They just don't. They don't feel like they owe you that, and they feel like, look, we gonna text, and if you don't like that, find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I had a question real quick. I mean, we off topic, right? But okay. What I don't understand is, like you said, in a generation like yours, or like people in their 30s or 20s, how you can get the gist or understand or hear the tone when someone's texting you. Do you know what I'm saying?
You can't.
I mean, it would seem like you wouldn't want to do it because you'd be like, okay, well, what did that mean? Okay, well, that's what that means. But this person is this. It would seem like it would be torturous to be like, okay, well, what did he mean by,
right.
later? Is he gonna come over? Is he gonna call me? Like, is he gonna FaceTime? Like, what did that mean? Like, was he saying like we was friends? Was he saying it like he was flirting, or like what? It seems like torturous. Like,
it is torture. It's terrible. It's terrible in my honest opinion. Like, I hate the new wave of dating. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, it's because you can't. You're asking a million questions, and then you're asking your friends, and most time they're giving you bad advice. So it's crazy. That's why I said, whenever I have an issue or something that makes me uncomfortable, I'm addressing it like right off the bat. I don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time to play the guessing game.
Right. waiting for those bubbles to become words. I don't know. You know how on iPhone,
right?
You text somebody and then they start texting back, and the bubbles come up, and you like waiting. What is he gonna say? And then they just go away. Look, if you're gonna say it, say it.
Right.
Don't put the bubbles up and get my expectations up.
No, sometimes I do that because I'll write a whole thing. And this is another thing that's sad in this generation. Like, I talk a lot, I write a lot, so I'll write a whole paragraph, and then I'll erase it and be like, "No, JaNae, that's too much. Let's just go simple." And then I'll erase the whole thing and just like think about what I'm gonna say that's gonna make me seem cool, calm, and collected, and not too intense.
Right.
Because you don't want to scare the guy away, and it's just it's terrible. I hate it. It's absolutely terrible. I don't like the dating scene at all nowadays.
But then there's an advantage to that. Because then you get to do what you just said. You get to put yourself out in the best light if you think about it. And then you say, yeah, I don't want to say that. I might not want to say it that way. And if you take some time to consider it. But the other thing I was thinking about with togetherness and being able to spend quality time, the problem with texting is that I can text 3 or 4 people while I'm texting with you.
Yeah.
So that can't be quiet. I could play a video game. I could be shooting hoops and come back, and that's why it takes so long to respond. But then that just opens up a whole nother conversation with the text messaging. But yeah, did you want to say something else, wife?
I forgot.
You forgot because I'm talking.
Oh no, what I was saying. I mean, because I found myself on the other end of that too, right? So sometimes in the morning, we're rushing around. We got kids. We're trying to get everybody here and there, and we may find ourselves in a situation where we may have had a real quick argument, like real quick. And then you even go to work, and I'm texting. Oh, and I'm hot. Okay, so I'm texting all the hotness. You getting it? You gonna get this fire? I delete it and I just, say something like, have a nice day.
Yeah.
But even in that, you still don't know what that means. So now you're on your way to
I know what have a nice day means after you have an argument.
Yeah. I think he knows now because y'all been married for so long, but like for somebody like a new relationship,
right?
Nah, you don't know what that means, and you might be like stressing and guessing and having anxiety your whole work shift. Like, dang,
Right.
what's gonna happen when I come home?
Right.
Have a nice day. You want me to fall?
You're like, was that sarcasm or did she really mean?
Right.
But no, I think it's a two-sided coin, because why you saying like it's an advantage, because you can go ahead and think it through and erase what you was gonna put. Also, that then takes away sometimes the authenticity of you really getting to know that person.
Right.
Because I say a lot of stuff all the time on the phone and be like, you know what? I take that back. Let me just say this, and I'll clarify in a different way.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, this technology, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
But it's something that, and just in the situation we're in now, we don't know when it's going to change. It's something that for folks that are dealing with it, dealing with dating as you are, it's something that you have to adjust to, because we don't know when the COVID situation is going to change.
Yeah.
So, and it's a new challenge, I think, to be able to make it, to be able to have enjoyable quality togetherness time when you can't actually be together. Well, I shouldn't say it that way.
Most people are,
because we shouldn't be together.
Right. Most people are still dating. They still, if they really want to get to know that person, they'll still go out and date. But yeah, right now technology is definitely a blessing, because so many people feel disconnected with having the quarantine. But then what I find interesting too is the divorce rate has skyrocketed, because a lot of couples don't like being in the house with their spouse all the time.
Right.
And so that's scary. I mean, it's a lot of scary realizations that we are coming to terms with as a American culture. And that was one of them for me. I'm like, dang, I would give anything to have somebody to quarantine with other than just my children.
Right.
Like, and it's people complaining like, I can't wait to get away from this man, or I can't wait to get away from this woman. Right. So it's interesting that, it's a lot.
Right.
We just had that conversation not 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
That the quarantine has allowed you to see the person you're with, and from all the different angles, because a lot of we get busy. We're working 40 plus hours a day. We're taking care of kids, helping with homework. We might see each other for some coffee in the morning. We might get a text at lunchtime, and then at night we're either going to dinner, hanging out with friends, getting kids ready for bed, and then we, see each other for another 30 minutes before we go to sleep, and we start it all over again. Right? But now it's like, you work from home, I work from home. Kids is here. I didn't realize that you did that. Wait a minute.
Right.
I don't like that. Who is this that I'm sleeping next? Who? What? Well, how did this happen? And so, yeah, it has. I think that has contributed, because we find out that we don't even like the people we're with.
Yeah, right. That's sad.
Right. Because we haven't spent that togetherness time getting to know each other. Like, we biblically know each other, and then we see how, each one is in front of our friends or our family. But when the doors are closed and it's me and you, like, wait a minute.
But that's why that kind of adds to the conversation that we're having with quality time is important regardless. Right. Like, that should have been happening before this pandemic hit. And now that it's here, like you said, it's showing everybody's true colors. You're getting to find out little habits that you don't like.
Right.
And I mean, I kind of feel sorry for the couples that's going through that, but at the same time, I don't, because it's like, okay, well, now that we know that we got all of these new annoyances, let's work through them.
Right.
Let's not be like, it's time for a divorce. It's time to end this thing.
Right. And I think that's what this is. It's kind of why we chose this topic.
Yeah.
Because we don't tend to spend time together, and then we talk about intimacy, and most of the time when you say intimacy to a man, he's thinking sex.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But intimacy is really, this is what we're talking about. This togetherness is the intimacy that I think women have a better understanding of. Like, at least I know that the women that I've been around, and the one that explained it to me that's on the screen with me, is that it's more about getting to know someone and being able to spend time with someone and knowing that person in a way that lets you see their heart and lets you see their person and their spirit.
Yeah.
Then now you know how to have better time together, and it's not just rushed, and it's not always about either physical connection or just making sure that we're ticking off the boxes, particularly with kids. And this is what I wanted to ask you about too, because what do you have, 3 or 4? Two.
I have
Okay.
2.
Oh, I think that's 3. My fault.
Don't put that charge on me.
Whoever watches this later, she ain't got no extra kids. I'm sorry. That was my bad.
2 is enough.
It is. It is. We have a slogan. What's our slogan, babe?
2 and through.
2 and
there
through.
There we go.
That's enough. But having children, it complicates it, and Mrs. Evans was saying this earlier. It complicates the amount of time that you really get to spend with someone. Doesn't make it impossible. It just complicates it, because now you have to consider those little lives too, and what they need.
And it's especially if you're single too. It's like you don't even. You gotta try and find out the math formula. Okay, when should I be introducing my kids to this person?
Right.
You know, just it's a lot.
Anything else you would like to say, Miss Harris? Just for the good of the cause.
I mean, I really like and appreciate what you two are doing, and I think that it's definitely needed. And I mean, I think this is a conversation that needs to be had for young couples that are not just trying to seek anything quick, but are looking for something of substance. Right. So it's definitely appreciated.
I was looking forward to the conversation. I really enjoyed this conversation. It's kind of hard because like we've been married like 20 years, so it's kind of hard. No, I mean, because I can remember back that far. But then even then, life was different, right? Even 20 plus years ago, dating was different. You didn't have all the things. I mean, you didn't have the Snapchat and the.
I don't even know all of them.
He said, "I don't know all of them."
Right.
And it's
TikTok. And they're like, hey.
Snapchat. I mean, it's hard too because all that's accessible. With those social media, like all the stuff with the woman just half naked and doing everything, it's hard. It's like women are scared to ask, like, oh, can you stop following this person? Because I don't want you seeing all that.
All right.
Hi.
Well. This has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you, Ms. JaNae Harris, for joining us.
No problem.
Like that.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right.
Husband, I really enjoyed the conversation that we had with JaNae. I appreciate the fact that she was open with us and honest with us. Yeah. It was a great conversation to have about togetherness in relationships. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it also, and we had a good time. If you watched the whole thing, you know we giggled and laughed the whole time. Mm-hmm. So that's the end of this episode. If you want any more information about Ms. Harris and her book, look for that. Her information will be in the comments. And Yeah. Season 3.
Season 3.
What? That's it, that's all? That's it, that's all.
That's it. That's all. See you next time.